What are Kyousuke and Donk'S worth? Spirit's team rules, Jame wins on LAN, finally, and the first matches of EPL Season 22. Hello there friends, this is CS2 News Hub. Without further ado, let's get straight to it. And we shall kick off today's video with something spicy, or actually the lack of spice itself. Recently, Gooseman, the guy who literally created Counter-Strike ages ago, said he thinks the game shouldn't really change anymore. According to Gooseman, what we have right now is the result of 25 years of history. You know, years of polishing and refining until CS became the masterpiece we know today. His point is simple: any player who jumps into CS immediately gets it. You can instantly understand what's happening, see your mistakes, and figure out how to improve. That's the beauty of it. It's a competitive FPS game stripped down to its purest form. Of course, Gooseman isn't saying that nothing should ever be touched. Couple tweaks here and there to improve the stability and quality of life, sure, but the core gameplay, that's sacred. As he put it, Counter-Strike has become the ultimate competitive shooter, and the secret is in its simplicity, and that's all. Speaking of things that don't change, let's talk about the rules. And in Team Spirit, rules are basically the secret sauce. Recently, the players and the coach gave a huge interview where they broke down their structure and how it works nowadays. The coach, Holly, even spilled some specifics. No coffee 3 hours before the match, to avoid the caffeine peat. No overeating 2 hours before the match. Nobody wants to play a crucial round while fighting off a food coma. Mandatory 8.5 hours of sleep on average. And possibly the toughest rule is that players are not allowed to bring their girlfriends or partners with them to tournaments. According to Holly, relationship drama or everyday distractions can distract you from Counter-Strike. So a hard no, although Team Spirit have some of the tournaments labeled as family-friendly, where they can bring people, but that's mostly about tier 1.5 or of less importance. And honestly, this whole list of rules seems to be working. Sometimes teams don't lose because of strats, but because they lack discipline. Spirit built a system where every detail matters, from caffeine timing to who packs the suitcase. But now I gotta ask, should other teams copy this? I mean, imagine Falcons, who once literally tried to boot camp with no PCs. I mean, maybe it's time to go traditional and have some stricter rules, you know? Autumn is here and it's raining outside, but our friends at CS Fail have found a way to warm you up. And actually, it's CS Fail 2.0 now, because the guys have recently had a major upgrade, and it's not just about the design, they also added a new game mode and removed many of the old limits and restrictions. Take the completely reimagined Crash mode, for example, which so many of you love. Now you can truly feel the classic CS vibe thanks to a new skin swap concept. And of course, your chances of winning are now even higher. Don't forget about the other modes too. There's Double, Wheel of Fortune, and Diffuse. Each one is awesome and exciting in its own way. And yeah, the daily bonuses here are also fantastic. So make sure to drop by CS Fail as often as you can. Hurry up and click the link in the pinned comment, or scan the QR code if you're watching us on your huge TV. On the screen right now you can see the deposit bonus, and under the video you'll find a promo code for a free case. Mind you, there are only 50 of them available, so grab yours quickly. And thanks for not skipping the ad. And now, since we're on the topic of Team Spirit and Falcons, we have to talk about player prices, because we finally found out how much Kyousuke cost Falcons. According to Team Spirit's marketing director, the buyout clause was a whopping 2 million euros. For context, Nico moved to Falcons for around $1 or $1.2 million, while m0NESY was a little pricier at about $2 or $2.5 million. So yeah guys, you got it right, a rookie with zero Tier 1 experience ended up being valued higher than one of the most established riflers in CS history. Welcome to CS2 economics, baby, and welcome to Team Falcons. They basically said, forget the oil, our best investment is 18 years old with cracked aim. That's the Spirit Factory model in action. First, they make their own major MVP and the world's best player, then they sell the next guy to the sheikhs for millions. But there's a twist. honest, Spirit's coach Holly isn't fully buying into the hype of Kyousuke. Holly basically said that Kyousuke probably won't ever surpass Donk. Why, you might ask? Well, he said because of playstyle. Kyousuke is more cautious, less risk, less chance to pop off. Donk is basically the W key demon, while Kyousuke, he's just a chill guy. Holly says that if Kyousuke wants to ever touch 1.50 rating territory, he's got a long way to go. And since we're talking about this CS Moneyball, let's move on to the big one. Donk's price tag. How much does it cost to buy out Donk? Well, recently Team Spirit's marketing director, the same guy who revealed Kyousuke's price, dropped the number and it's insane. The minimum buyout clause for Donk is $10 million. Yeah, you heard it right, $10 million for a single CS2 player. And that's not just a record, that's some football transfer money. Moreover, Team Spirit are just not planning to hand him to anyone. You know, like, for example, how Heroic would have done if they got some offers. Team Spirit's solution to everything is basically, we're not here to sell, we're here to farm trophies. Also, Donk shared his thoughts on the eternal CS debate. Who's the real GOAT? Even though half the scene is ready to crown ZywOo right now, Donk's answer was simple. It's simple. He said that ZywOo is insanely consistent, he's versatile, he adapts like a chameleon, and he's basically the Lionel Messi of CS. But for Donk, Sasha will always be the number one. And that's because Na'Vi was Donk's childhood dream team, and Simple was literally his childhood hero. He's been watching Na'Vi since 2010. He was dreaming about being the part of the team, and at one point he could have easily joined Na'Vi Jr., but things didn't go through. So yeah, stats and trophies aside, for Donk, the GOAT debate isn't really a debate, it's simple. Forever. Now, one final thing about Donk. In the interview, he opened up about something he really doesn't like about his esports career, the whole media circus. According to Donk, he's not into clout or attention. He actually enjoys chill podcasts and laid-back interviews, but he feels like the constant spotlight has a negative effect on his life. He doesn't like how it works, how sometimes you can't control the invasion of your personal space. For example, remember when people instantly tracked down his girlfriend's Sunside? At first, neither of them were ready for their relationship to be blasted everywhere, but at last, now they're doing fine. Still, Donk says he hates the sneaky pictures, the random rumors, and people poking into his private life. And recently, it only got worse. So yeah, guys, maybe let's respect Donk's wish for a bit of peace. He is already out there frying pros on stage. The least we can do is not to turn his personal life into a reality show, you know? Now it's finally time to switch gears and talk about FaZe Clan, because the rumors finally turned out to be true. After 3,541 days in the lineup, Rain has officially departed from the team, moving to the bench. 9 years, 21 trophies, almost 2,000 maps, and 1 major MVP medal. That's the legacy the Norwegian legend leaves behind with FaZe. According to Rain himself, he's not retiring just yet. He's still open to offers in pretty much any role. But still, one of the longest eras in CS history is officially over. He will definitely look back on it with a smile, and who knows, maybe one day he will even return. Here's a fun fact, he was just 4 months away from hitting the 10-year mark with the same team. But hey, times change, and FaZe change with them. Maybe this move helps them bounce back. Maybe it backfires. Either way, Rain will remain one of the greatest, a player people will always respect and talk about. Frozen put it perfectly, Rain is one of the greatest players he's ever met in CS2. He admired Rain ever since he was a kid, and he said it will be weird not having him around. Brokey added a wholesome memory of how he once came home from school, watched Rain clutch a 1v4 against VP, and then years later he ended up playing 6 years side by side with the guy. Rain's run with FaZe wasn't just a career chapter, it was practically a career on its own. He's an absolute legend, and we will be waiting to see him lift more trophies in whatever jersey he rocks next. Maybe together with Simple and BCG. Who knows? Tell us your suggestions in the comments below. Now, before the final news, a quick reminder, we've got a special bonus in the pinned comment just for you if you've never played CS Failed before. There are only 50 activations, so don't wait. Now, back to the news. As we wrap things up, we just have to talk about Parivision's recent LAN performance in Moscow, because honestly, that might have been the turning point for their whole season. Remember when we covered Star Ladder and mentioned that neither Dastan nor the team itself really believed that they could qualify for the major? Well, turns out hope never truly dies. Parivision proved it. In the LAN finals, they faced off against BB Team, and the outcome of the match basically decided their major fate. The series went the full distance, all 5 maps, and funnily enough, not a single team managed to win their own pick. On the decider, after a nail-biting finish, Parivision came out on top and left BB Team in 2nd place. And here's where the real plot twist comes in: the game changer, visas. You know, because Virtus.pro couldn't attend ESL Pro League, their major chances basically plumbed down to 12%. Meanwhile, Parivision, featuring none other than Jame and Dastan, the former captain and coach of Virtus.pro, suddenly skyrocketed to a 75% chance, you know, of making it to the biggest event of the season. Once again, just because they won LAN and because VP missed EPL. Meanwhile, BB, on the other hand, basically lost their chances. The only event left for them is the CCT series, but the level of opponents there is way too low to rack up the VRS points they needed. For Parivision players, this was a huge win. Yeah, for others it might look like just another Moscow LAN, but for Jame it meant so much more. He sees how much effort his younger teammates have put into the project, and now that they're likely headed to the major, he was honestly overflowing with emotions. The final verdict from Valve comes just on Monday, in a week, and Parivision need to hold their ground by doing nothing. What a storyline it would be if they actually make it to the major. And finally, let's dive into the ESL Pro League Season 22, because these opening matches were absolutely wild. On paper, it looked pretty straightforward, a mix of weaker teams, a bunch of rookies, some stand-ins here and there, and then the heavy hitters like Furia, 3D Max, M80, and G2. Sounds pretty predictable, right? Nah, just wait for it. At first, things went exactly as expected. Astralis handled Fluxo without breaking a sweat, and G2 cruised past Roosters. And Gamer Legion took down NRG 2-0 in a close series. A nice reminder that, yeah, they actually can win games. But then came the surprises. First, the new Inner Circle roster, formerly TNL. They didn't just compete, they outplayed 3D Max, winning 2-1. And even the map they lost went to OTs. Yeah, sure, 3D Max were playing with a stand-in because Maka couldn't make it, but still, that's a fantastic result for such a young team. But then came the real shocker, Furia versus HOTU. Remember, Furia just won Fisher Playground. Like, you'd expect them to smash a mixed roster with Norbert in it. Instead, HOTU completely outplayed Furia. 8-4 first half on Overpass, then they closed their own pick, and finally wrapped things up on Dust 2 with 13-9. After the game, Norbert said that they were ready for anyone and didn't see Furia as some unbeatable monsters. For him, it was pure joy to be back on Tier 1 and to prove himself again against top teams. And he said that that's basically what keeps him motivated. Not prize money, but just the pure love for the game. Other notable results include Bait beating Legacy. Yeah, those same Legacy who once broke Vitality's win streak on the major. And Gentle Mates, who were the last-minute replacements for Vision, as they stunned Heroic 2-1. The day wrapped up with ENCE, another replacement, taking down M80, which was also a surprise. Day 2 felt more normal, but the upsets kept rolling in. First, 3D Max beat Roosters, nothing surprising. Then, HOTU showed that their Furia win wasn't just a fluke, this time they took out Bait. Meanwhile, Inner Circle crushed Gamer Legion 2-1, including a 13-3 stomp and a 13-1 decider. ENCE just demolished Astralis on their nuke 13-2 and then won the match. Heroic 2-0'd M80, Swisher and Lake couldn't couldn't find impact. Legacy remembered that they once beat Vitality and that they can actually be good gamers, so they beat Energy. Gentle Mates, meanwhile, shocked G2. After dropping their map pick 13-2, they came back with 13-11 on G2's map pick, and then they sealed the decider 13-7. And the last match of day 2 included Furia, who finally redeemed themselves by beating Flaxo 2-0. So here's where things stand. On the brink of elimination we have Energy, M80, Flaxo and Roosters. On the top we see Gentle Mates, HOTU, ENCE and Inner Circle. And guys, here's the craziest part. Thanks to all these results, Gentle Mates have basically locked themselves a major spot, at the expense of Virtus.pro, who now lose their spot almost officially. Just think about it, the org only signed this roster in late August, and then 2 months later they've already secured a major invite all of a sudden. That's what I call a profitable investment. Now that's all for today, my friends. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, to follow our channel, and drop by in the comments below because it helps us develop a lot. We're not saying goodbye for a long time. See you soon.